Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Welcome to Casita's virtual kitchen. If you're watching now or this evening, you've obviously bought one of our Valentine's Day boxes. So we're going to do the master unveiling tonight. I'm going to talk through what you can expect from our Valentine's Day box and also show you how to prepare it on the evening. So you'll get this delivered to your door like this. First thing we need to do is obviously open it up. So we're going to cut off the ribbon. We'll open it up. Inside, first things first, you're going to see your set of instructions. So there's going to be on the top there. That's going to break down all the dishes and obviously talk you through it on the evening, how to do it. So obviously, I like to think I know what I'm doing. So the instructions for now, I'm just going to put to one side, but they are in there. And then we're going to open up to get to all the products. So just open up here. And then inside, beautifully prepared for yourselves, we've got all the products that you're going to need for your Valentine's Day evening, okay? And obviously the most important, the wine. So first things first, I would recommend would be to open the wine. So Valentine's Day, let's open the wine, let's get everything out of the box, let's organise it, let's take a few minutes to get everything we need, and we'll come back and then we'll make the dishes together. So as you can see, I'm very well organised, or hopefully I've got everything out of the box. Everything's labelled, so with the instructions there's going to be clear steps to follow, and obviously everything's labelled, so we should be fine. I would recommend to get all your pots, pans, everything ready so you can do this nice and quickly. Also, additionally, a few bits you might need, a little bit of oil, just so we're obviously cooking some cod and some prawns, so it's just normal oil. A little bit of butter, optional. Salt, a bit of Susie salt. Start straight off today with the belly pork, okay? So I've got oil here. Now this belly pork is already cooked, so all you need to do is just get a bit of colour on it, a bit of crisp on it. So I'm going to use a pan with some hot oil. You don't need to do this, you can just do it in a frying pan and shallow fry it. It can go straight into the oven on high or under the grill. So we'll open our bag. And also what I'm going to do straight off the start is I'm going to do the ox cheeks, so they're going to take a little bit of time to warm through. So I've got pan warm, getting warm here. I'm just going to put a little bit of water in it just to start. And I've got my bag of the ox cheeks here. So literally this ox cheek here is all ready for you to go. I'm just going to open that, and that's going to go into the pan as well. Okay. So I've got these little plates here, just with a little towel on, just take out my belly. I'm going to test one piece. Make sure it all stop. Okay, so I'm just going to put a lid onto these ox cheeks just so they warm through quicker. So what we're going to do with this, we're going to fry the belly pork first, we're going to fry the potatoes for bravas first. We're going to pop them in the oven, so oven on low, and then just while we're getting everything else ready. Cool, so I've got the bit of colour on the belly pork now, so I'm just going to put this in the oven. That's going to stay hot while we get everything else ready. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the potatoes for the bravas. So same thing with those. If you just want it with these, you can do the same as the belly pork. You can just pan fry these. With a little bit of garlic, a little bit of chilli, we're going to do that later, and then, or you can just put them into a hot oven just so they crisp back up again. So nice and easy. Cheap, okay. So I've got a little pot here with some red currant jelly. This again, optional. If you want to add it, it just makes it a little bit sweeter, a little bit richer, and again, be as generous as you want. So we're going to get this in now into the pan. Go lid back on. I'm going to let that reduce a little bit more. I wasn't joking about the wine, it's a very important part of the cooking process. Into there, let's dry that off. And then we can do away with the oil and we can get on to something else. Okay, so potatoes are going to go into the oven now. So they're just going to stay nice and warm in there. Great, so we're on to the mushroom estofado now, so the mushroom kind of stew. Pan for this, a little bit of water in the pan. So the only reason we're adding a little bit of water to the ox cheeks into the pan is because the sauce is kind of already reduced. So instead of it over reducing, just a little bit of water to start off with. Okay, so we've got our stew here. I'm going to go into the pan with the stew. I'm just going to warm that through. So we're nearly ready to start getting some bits together. Our belly pork is in the oven, our potatoes are in the oven, our ox cheeks are kind of warm, nearly there. And then we've got our mushrooms working here. So we're slowly going to start to plate some bits up. Cool guys, so we've got our, starting to get our bowls together now. Pick obviously, you know, we want to make this very restauranty, we want to make this a special occasion, it's Valentine's. So pick your best china. Whatever that may be, and we're going to start to plate up now, make everything look really nice. And then to finish this off, we're going to add a little bit of some chopped chives, which are here. And also, we're going to put a tiny bit of fresh picked thyme in there as well. So, a little bit of thyme, some chives, save a few chives to garnish the top. And then into the ox cheeks here. Again, a little bit of fresh thyme. Cool, so a little bit of chopped parsley to finish our cheeks. Great, so we're ready to plate these two now. Okay, so we'll start with the mushrooms. If you've got some lovely nice bread. Wonderful, so there's our mushrooms. Obviously all the fresh herbs are included in the box, so obviously you can use as much or as little as you want. We use a lot of fresh herbs in the restaurant, so obviously we've sent plenty. We're going to garnish this up with a little bit of shaved manchego cheese. So on the top. And a few more chives to finish. And if you have got some, you know, really nice extra virgin olive oil at home, or a little bit of extra truffle oil, if you're that way inclined, then just a little drizzle over the top. Okay. Ox cheeks next. The ox cheeks are going today with a celeriac slaw, so this is all ready for you. So we're going to scoop this out. A nice big bowl for this. It's going to go in with our slaw. Then into the bowl. Get all the sauce in there. A bit more. Okay. For a little bit of texture with these, we're going to serve it with some crispy onions, okay? So again, you can be as generous as you like. A nice sort of covering over the cheeks there. Fabulous, so we're doing well guys, that's dish number 2 done. We have our mushrooms, we have our ox cheeks. We're going to move on to the cod now, because obviously that takes a little bit of time to cook. So we're going to get a pan on. A little bit of the oil that we've got. Just going to season up the cod a little bit. Do a fan with your fish, a little bit of cracked black pepper also. Just a little bit on the flesh side. If you don't really have a very good non-stick pan at home, you can use just a normal frying pan, a little bit of grease-proof paper on the bottom of the pan, cod on the top and it won't stick. But if you've got a nice new non-stick pan, you'll be absolutely fine with this, okay? So in with the cod. You want to hear a little bit of a sizzle. Okay, I'm just going to cook that nice and slowly. You can colour the skin if you want to and then just put it in the oven for 3 or 4 minutes, that's absolutely fine. We're just going to cook it nice and slowly here while we're getting everything else ready. I'm just going to heat up now the tomato sauce for the bravas. So this tomato sauce here is already seasoned, it's got all your spices in there. All we're going to do is, as we do in the restaurant, is add all our fresh herbs while it's in the pan now. So the tomato sauce, we're going to turn down low now. I'm just going to gently warm that through. And then the cod, so you can see now, starting to get nice and crispy there. I'm just going to turn the heat down a little bit. So we're going to turn the cod back down now, nice and slow. We're going to add some butter. And that's going to finish cooking it through. And then into the pan with the tomato sauce, we're going to add our herbs, okay? So we've got a little bit of chopped spring onion here. Some fresh parsley. And we've got a little pot over here of some chopped basil. And then we go in with the basil. Give that a mix up. Great, so while the cod's just finishing off, what we're going to do is we're going to add our artichokes to the pan. So we've got a few artichokes here. We're going to get a bit of a roast on these. Put them in, flat side down. We're going to roast them up. A little bit of salt and pepper on those. I'm going to turn this cod over now to cook on the other side. Okay. So this tomato sauce is now hot, so we can take that off to one side. That's done, then we're going to cook our potatoes. For the cod, we've got this beautiful mojo verde here. Now this is quite spicy. Have a little taste before you put it on. You might not need all of it, so have a little taste. It is quite strong. I'm going to go into the middle of the bowl with this. You pick your bowl up, give it a little tap underneath. Okay. A bit of kitchen paper here. I'm just going to finish roasting off our artichokes. So you can see our artichokes are nicely roasted now. I'm just going to finish these with a few little chives. I'm going to take them out. I'm going to go on to our plate here with our cod. So we're going to go cod in the middle. Oh no, in fact, cod just off to one side. And we're going to go in with the artichokes. A little bit of colour, I've got a little bit of garlic aioli here. I'm going to put a little bit of that on there. So just stick the corner of the bag and just give it a little squeeze on. And to garnish this, a few of these nice thin spring onions that we've got. Put a few of them on there. And some lovely coriander, which is just picked coriander. So we're going to put them on there as well. Okay. And then like before with the mushroom, if you've got a little bit of nice olive oil, just finish with a little drizzle of olive oil. It's Valentine's Day, right? We've got to try and impress. So there is our cod with the mojo verde roasted artichokes. Right guys, nearly there. So we've got a pan on here for our prawns. Okay, and we've got a pan on for our belly pork. So the pan needs to be really hot for the prawns so they get a nice roast. So we're going to leave that for a little bit. For the belly pork, we are going to start off. So it's been in the oven for a bit now, so it's nicely roasted. We're going to start off with a little bit of garlic. So you've got some garlic and some oil here. So get some of the oil in, some of the garlic in. Some nice fresh chilli. So in with that as well. A little bit of butter, optional. So just want to get them roasted off now. Okay, with our prawns. And then as soon as the prawns have gone in, a little bit of salt, each one. So what we're doing with the garlic and chillies, we're just roasting it to get a nice little bit of colour on it, okay? And we've got our belly pork here, which has been in the oven, which is nicely roasted. and that's going to go in as well. Give it a little toss. For the belly pork, we've got the belly salt. So this is a mix of ginger, chili flakes, salt. So we're going to go in quite generous for this. Again, depends how spicy you like. Give that a little toss. And then finally, to finish this, we've got the belly sauce, okay? So again, depending on how saucy you like it, we'll go in with this, give it a little swill, and in with the belly sauce. In with the prawns, we're going to go with the garlic, a little bit of the oil, we're going to go in with the chilli. So to finish this belly pork, we're going to go some spring onions. So turn the heat off now, don't need any more heat. And then we've got some chopped coriander in there. And if you've got it at home, optional again, a tiny bit of honey. Just a tiny, tiny bit. Just going to give that a toss. So you see it's beautifully glazed the belly pork. We're going to put that in a bowl in a second. Just come back to our prawns now. And go in with the butter. While that's happening, we're going to put our belly pork into a bowl. Beautifully and sticky, nicely glazed. Okay. If you've got any of the coriander leaf left from the cod, we can just put a little bit of that on the top as well. And again, we've got a little bit of crispy onion left, why not a little bit of that on there as well. Okay. So our prawns, garlic starting to be nicely roasted. Going to go in with some spring onions. And go in with some fresh parsley. I'm going to finish this with some lemon. Great, so let's turn the prawns over now. So you can see, nicely roasted on the one side. All the herbs are looking fresh and delicious. So bowl for the prawns. I'm going to go in with all that lovely butter, chilli, garlic, lemon from the pan. Right, so last thing we've got is the patatas bravas. So our potatoes are nice and crispy, they've been in the oven, no harm done. Our tomato sauce is warm and delicious. So all we need to do now is finish the potatoes. So you could just serve them straight from the oven if you wanted to, but we want something a little bit special. This is how we do it in the restaurant. We're going to go in with a little bit of chilli and garlic. And a little bit of butter. So just like the belly pork, we're going to roast this now, get a little bit of colour on it. This last step is worth it, trust me. They're fine like that with the spicy tomato sauce, but this last step is worth it. So bear with us. We've got our bowl here. So as soon as your garlic starts to get a bit of colour, we're going to go in with our potatoes. Really important, season them, quite generous. Some cracked black pepper if you want to put some pepper in there. And all we're going to do is we're going to toss this in all them oils for 20-30 seconds. And then whatever herbs you've got left, we're going to put into here now, okay? So we've still got some fresh basil here. I'm going to go in with the basil. Some parsley. And some spring onions. There. Hey, I've even got some chives left, so we'll get them in there as well. Okay, give them a good toss, and then you see how delicious, fresh, they smell amazing. So we're going to turn all that off now. The cooking is done, he says. Okay, so into a bowl, into our potatoes. Top of the potatoes, we're going to go nice fragrant spicy tomato sauce. And then obviously we have to have the garlic aioli. Nice there next to it. And just to finish it off, a la 1980s, a little bit of fresh parsley. A couple of little chives we've got left there. Awesome, well done guys. So that's our 6 courses. It's our tapas feast. We are going to do the dessert briefly in a second, but we have our patatas bravas, our salt and pepper belly pork, our roasted king prawns, the mushroom estofado, the beautifully glazed ox cheeks, and the cod with the artichokes and the mojo verde. Last thing, if you're still with me, is the dessert, okay? And trust me, you want to be with me for this because it's delicious. So in this little tub here, we have our Biscoff tart. And then in this tub here, we have our PX mascarpone. So PX is a sweet sherry, a sweet Spanish sherry. Tastes like raisins, it's absolutely delicious. On the top of this, I've just grated a little bit of caramelised white chocolate for you guys, just to treat you even more. Okay, so tart's going to go into the middle of the plate. So we've got our tart there. Depending on how you want to do this, we're going to go a little quenelle of the mascarpone on the top. And for an extra little treat, a little bit of fresh mint. Okay. There we go guys, it's all there. I hope you enjoy it. It's a labour of love, but it's hopefully all going to be worth it. That's the La Casita Valentine's Day food box. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got plenty of other videos, including a lot of these in a lot more detail. So thank you for taking your time. Thank you for ordering. Thank you for supporting La Casita. Adios.